Oh baby, Ethereum's price is doing something crazy and I want to go over it with you today, so let's get started. So what we know is that Ethereum's price has been venturing into a very strong zone of liquidity. You guys know that we have been talking about the fact that this little level between, of course, $2,143 and $2,500 is a key zone. This level of support right here from the bear market, when we were bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, creating that liquidity, was surely going to interact with the price as a form of resistance. We knew that this level between 2,500 and 2,150 was going to be one of those critical levels that if we're capable of breaking it, we could easily see a push back up towards 3,300. But if we're incapable of breaking it, the pull to the downside could be rather catastrophic, with the move, in my opinion, down towards 1,500 bucks. But what Ethereum's doing right now is actually extremely good, especially considering how this narrative is playing out. Now, many of you know, of course, that the Bitcoin ETF was just approved, and Bitcoin's price isn't really doing what everyone somewhat thought it would do. I told you all, look, be extremely careful trying to trade an ETF approval. That's going to cause a lot of volatility. There's going to be a lot of liquidations to the upside and the downside, and personally, I wasn't getting involved in the short term. I was just going to keep long-term trading. Now, what you can see here is that Bitcoin's price really hasn't done all that much since the approval happened, but if we go over to Ethereum, Ethereum's price has. Now, why is Ethereum's price moving in this nature? Well, it's clear. The narrative is shifting towards Ethereum now. Everyone, bought into Bitcoin in expectance that the ETF approval would happen, and that's what kind of priced that in. Now, people are expecting that the Ethereum ETF approval will happen next, and so I do believe we could be in a moment in which it starts to become priced in for ETH. Now, it's not just me just saying that. You can actually start to see some of the differences here. You can see some crucial things happening. First and foremost, you can see that Ethereum has broken the short-term range that it was in. We were ranging sideways here for the last month, realistically, between 2,376 and 2,143. But Ethereum just made a beautiful move to the top side, testing $2,500, clearing this short-term range. Now, that's not really just a short-term range. Like I mentioned before, this is also a macro range. This is the last level of support around 2,500 bucks that we established back in the bear market right here. And if we're able to clear this level, I do believe that Ethereum could be in position to make a move back up towards $3,300. And so obviously this is a huge moment, and this is something to take note of. On top of that, while we are seeing a breakout of this little short-term and long-term range, we're also seeing a breakout of this macro structure. Ethereum had been sitting within this ascending triangle for over a year, and we are now seeing not only just a breakout of that, but the establishment of support, and now looking to continue. Establishing support on top of such a strong level of resistance like this is a key sign that we will have a foundation enough to see a continuation to the upside. And so that does also give me a little bit of bullish conviction that we could easily see ETH start to trend over the long term, probably a lot higher than it is now. Now, to finalize, of course, another thing that I do love to watch out for is volume. What you can see here is that volume has been on the on-ramp as we have been making this move upwards, and it's not slowing down yet. When you see volume increasing into the breakout, it just means that there's even more conviction that this breakout is legitimate and not some type of just fake out to the upside. Of course, it's not a guarantee, but it does give, again, a good sign. It's more bullish sentiment that we actually have conviction that this move to the upside will last. And so, with all of these things, it does look like Ethereum could be in a beautiful position for some long-term gains. Obviously, the main thing right now, watch $2,500 extremely closely. We have not officially crossed it yet. Once we do break that, I'm looking for support. Maybe we even back test before then and then look for continuation. But at the end of the day, I do believe that, some long-term long trades for Ethereum are a good way to go. Now, you guys can tell I am over on Margex currently. This is the best trading platform in crypto. You don't have to KYC. You don't have to use a VPN. You can flat out just deposit and start trading. You can choose your leverage. It's very easy, very simple. Just be extremely careful. And they do also give some deposit bonuses to those of you who do want to get started with my link down below. So make sure you do go check that out. But overall, again, that's kind of my strategy right now. I think Ethereum could easily outperform Bitcoin over the short term. And so that's going to be the place where I am putting in some of those bids. Now, looking at the Ethereum to Bitcoin pair itself, again, I mean, it does seem to me as if we could be in a position for that to happen. I think if Ethereum does clear 2,500 bucks, if it does really start to make this move above this key level of rejection right here, that'll also put ETH in a spot where it's likely breaking back into this descending triangle. If we re-enter into this descending triangle, that makes this a fake out to the downside, which we recapture, and generally you will break to the upside from that point forward, meaning that Ethereum would be substantially outperforming Bitcoin. So for me, it seems to be the clear trade that if Ethereum does get this break above $2,500, watch extremely closely, because it's very likely that ETH is going to lead the next little wave and probably trigger some type of micro altcoin season, which we will cover going forward. So this is what I'm watching out for. I am going to start picking up a little bit more Ethereum. It is already moving, so not a ton of Ethereum, but enough to make a difference. And like I said before, I am doing all of that over on Margex. Stop wasting your time on other platforms. Margex the place to be, okay? And on top of that, if you do want to see the trades, just the buys, the long-term swings that I'm personally making, dollar cost averages, stuff like that, use the link down below towards my Patreon, and you can actually see my portfolio and all the cryptos that I hold, which is pretty cool. So I hope you guys do enjoy these quick videos. I'm going to be posting 3 to 4 technical analysis videos every single day throughout the bull market on things like Ethereum, XRP, Solana, BNB, Bitcoin, and much more. And I'm going to be sprinkling some degen plays here and there. So I hope you guys do enjoy the content. If you do, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.